Thank you. So the reason I did that video was to show you there is a significance to that 33. And everything in old teachings were all hidden. So that's why the 32 latitude, and that's why they say 33% has to be food, 33% has to be water, 33% has to be air, and it has to be chewed 32 times. But I want to tell you, remember how he said the latitude is 11 because we have 11 major chakras in the middle. And when you chew, it directly goes to the brain because the oils, the terpenes and all from the plants and stuff, it crosses the blood-brain barrier and it reaches the brain quicker. So your alertness is improved. So the vata kicks off faster because the pitta layer is all about nourishing every part of the body. So it allows you, when you chew longer, to focus on your alertness. And if we eat the wrong food, that's why we feel very tired. And then when it goes to the belly, the digestive enzymes kills other stuff and then it disintegrates and brings it into metabolism. So it kind of gets involved with enzymes quicker. And the pitta layer works very well with enzymes. That's why it's very important to, in addition, take more digestive enzymes and stuff when we are eating, because it breaks down the food better, so the liver handles the digestive products better. The other thing is when pitta people eat, or rather the pitta, the nutrition digestion is about intermixing food with juices and water in between, and it has to be like washing it down, eating something, washing it down, eating something, washing it down. So you want to do it in conjunction with juices, not at the end, because when you eat food and then at the end drink, it dilutes the digestive process. And that is one thing. The second thing is the oils is very important for liver because that's how it lubricates, it gets rid of stuff. So when you, at the end, eat cold water in addition, it actually makes the fat and the oils be expelled from the body, because it becomes, remember in cold what happens, the solid the oils and the fat becomes solidified, so it gets excreted. So we actually need oil for the kapha part and also to lubricate the liver. So it's important to also drink, if you're going to drink water, a little bit, but warm, or juice warm. That's why in Chinese restaurant, they'll serve green tea. So it's important. So that way you'll understand. Now, am I in this one? Yeah. Okay. Now, next I'm going to do further diet, in digestion is typically it's advised to eat, because our stomach is supposed to be one fist in size according to the ancients. So when you eat 2 handfuls of food, that is equal to expanding the stomach twice, so that would be enough for that meal. Otherwise you keep expanding the stomach, so you always feel hungry and it doesn't work well. So the ancients used to eat 2 fistfuls of handful of food. That was the reason for that. And ingesting water while eating, not at the end, or juices. For digestion, use warm water fast, which will clean and increase Agni. I mean, Agni is fire, the pilot for the stomach. So if people are going to fast, for Vata people, better not to do more than 72 hours, because the Vata principle is about being lightheaded. So when they cross the 72 hours, they become very, very lightheaded and they cannot maintain their alertness and focus. So if patients, they do fast, it has to be in a prudent way. We do something called Nirahara Samyama. Samyama is an exploration of possibility. Neer means water, ahara means diet. So nirahara, there is liquid diet possibilities, let's say. So for Vata people, they suggest doing 2 days of liquid diet followed by 1 day of solids, 2 days of liquid diet followed by 1 day of solids. But Pitta people, you can afterwards advance it to 5-day liquid diet and then 1 day solid diet or 2 day solid diet, and then you would want to do the process slowly. And for Kappa, they can tolerate a longer diet time. So for them, my teacher does a 21-day Nirahara Samyama, where he does 2 days followed by 1 day solids, again 5 days followed by 1 day solids, and 7-day liquid diet. And liquid means when you are fasting, it's not fasting, it's a liquid diet. So they want you to drink enough so the stomach feels full and not hungry. So you want to be ahead of hunger. So you can do buttermilk, milk, and juices, and anything that is liquidy that you don't need to chew. That's one possibility. Now, for Vata type, they suggest using grape. And I did this book called Button, the Certification Program. And because what it is it's not the juice so much as terpenes. Terpene is the oils in those juices that helps. So grape, why did they choose grape, right? Grape juices, Dr. Ladd suggested it's because grape has more limonene. Limonene, it actually makes the bile alkaline. When bile is alkaline, it doesn't burn, because in the bile, when it comes back to the intestine, that's how you would digest the fats. So because it gets reabsorbed, and that's how you get the vitamin D and fat soluble vitamins into the body. So the limonene makes the bile more alkaline. Otherwise, it will create that burning sensation in the belly, the charring sensation. And the reason for that is sugar with bad oils creates charring process inside and cause sludges in the biliary ducts. So it will affect the liver producing bile, which is pitta. And if the pitta is affected, obviously, alertness is gone. That's why liver failure people will create more ammonia to compensate for the acidity, and they will be very confused. So when you do the limonene, which is from orange juice or grape juice or grapefruits, it will create alertness. Pitta people, they suggest using juices like pomegranate. The reason is pomegranate again has the terpenol called alpha terpenoil or E-nerol. Because pitta, if it is affected, it will affect the sleep. That's why gallbladder meridian, when it's affected, it disrupts the sleep cycle they have deep sleep centers, which is gallbladder centers, and it also causes headache. People who wake up with headaches have high pitta layer. It's because they have more steroids, and the steroids is converted into pitta layer, and they are having high pitta, which means the lymphatics in the brain is affected, and that creates the headache. So for them, they need to reset it. And the interesting part about pomegranate, it has something called alpha terpenol and E-nerol. Nerol is also in rosebuds, and terpenol. These are actually in bayberry leaves and stuff. If you want, you can look at this video. I'm going to bring it up quickly. It's called deepfatsolution.com. The reason is the fat in the belly is the cellulite that affects the liver, which is pitta layer, right?
A lot of us want to get rid of intra-abdominal fat, what we call the deep fat. If we can reduce obesity, we can get rid of a lot of morbidities associated therewith, including heart issues like coronary artery disease or just congestive heart failure, hypertension. The greater causes of death are things that we can actually control. And again, obesity is probably the biggest one. It's a combination of everything, and we have the science behind it. That's where we came up with the ideas that we're going to continue to keep coming up with for things that can help you with day-to-day living. That's my job. That's what I try and do, to be able to control your health with some simple things, feel better, have a better quality of life. How huge is that? What if there was a lethal problem lurking deep inside your belly and you didn't even know it? This is why doctors like myself are so worried about one skyrocketing health issue: deep fat. Deep fat now affects an estimated 10 to 20% of Americans and can lead to cirrhosis, when scar tissue corrodes your liver and causes you pain, sickness, or even death. And you're at increased risk of this health hazard if you have gained extra weight, are diabetic or pre-diabetic, or consumed excess alcohol. Fortunately, researchers may have made a game-changing discovery that could not only stop, but actually reverse the damage caused by organ fat buildup. This discovery has even been shown to lead to a flatter belly, more energy, and a longer, healthier life. It's going to change everything we know about health, and I've made this video to tell you about it. My name is Dr. Rand McClain, and I'm a physician based in Los Angeles, California. And lately, I've been focused on what I consider to be the most important question in all of health. You ready? Here it goes. Why does virtually every diet fail? It isn't because the people on them don't stick to them. In fact, some of those diets wouldn't work no matter how long you stayed on them. Give up? The answer is that most so-called fitness experts know absolutely nothing about actual human biology. Many of these folks mean well, but they just don't understand how your body works on a cellular level. For example, have you ever seen a product advertised that claims to eliminate fat cells? Sounds great. There's only one problem. As a doctor who specializes in cellular health, I can tell you it is impossible for adults to eliminate fat cells. You see, starting around age 20, you have virtually the exact same number of fat cells the rest of your life. This number is programmed into your body in childhood, and the number never changes. The actual reason people gain fat mass, commonly referred to as weight, is because these fat cells get bigger. When fat cells get bigger, it not only alters your appearance, it can have major health consequences. And there's one form of fat that isn't just dangerous, it can be lethal. In fact, I've dedicated a good portion of my career to fighting it. It's the evil deep fat I mentioned before. Deep fat is the fat that builds up underneath your skin and around your organs. If you have an unsightly abdominal bulge, that is a key sign of deep fat. But this isn't just an appearance issue. Researchers at Harvard, Johns Hopkins Medical School, and others have recently warned that this visceral fat leads to heart attacks and even early death. This is what Harvard Medical School, the top medical school in the country, had to say about deep fat. Quote, "At one time, we might have accepted these changes as an inevitable fact of aging, but we've now been put on notice that as our waistlines grow, so do our health risks. Worst of all, deep fat can strike anybody. Even slender people sometimes have a dangerous deep fat buildup. And anyone who has a protruding belly may be at a far higher risk of having this lethal deep fat hiding deep in your body where you can't even see it. Fortunately, there's been a massive scientific discovery that could forever change the way we fight deep fat. A new enzyme has recently been discovered that not only stops the buildup of deep fat by converting this deep fat into energy. By activating this one specific enzyme in your cells, what some people are calling the master switch that controls all aging in your body, you could get faster metabolism, more energy, and decreased body fat, all of which are directly correlated to longer lifespan. Some are hailing this as a true game changer, because for the first time, a group of experts in cellular biology are using this technology to help in the field of weight management. And the most incredible thing is that clinical trials show it's not just possible, it actually works. This cellular secret is going to change everything we know about weight and health. That's why I made this video presentation. I'm going to tell you exactly how the cellular secret works and how some lucky people are already using it. If you notice dangerous fat building up around your belly and want to stay healthy for yourself and your family, you need to hear this. I'm also going to shatter 3 weight loss myths that almost everyone believes, even though they're 100% false. If you've ever tried any food diet, you most likely were given a piece of advice that not only didn't help you lose fat, it made you gain fat. And when it comes to exercise, well, that's the source of the biggest myth of all. I'm going to tell you the secret truth about all 3 of these weight loss myths. And when you see how you've been lied to by the food and health industry, you're going to be flat out shocked, just like I was. But before I reveal the truth about fat, let me tell you who I am and why this is so important to me. My name is Dr. Rand McClain. I'm considered by some as one of the top regenerative medicine doctors in Los Angeles. My patients include many professional athletes and high net worth individuals, people you know by name. But the reason everyone is talking about this breakthrough presentation is that I'm not a weight loss expert, and I don't claim to be. It's true that I've worked with many celebrities, helping them achieve the body and the appearance they need to look their best and have long, successful careers. However, this is not a weight loss video. In fact, I can't stand weight loss videos. Some of these videos make my job more difficult because they're so misleading. They're made by people, sometimes very nice, well-meaning people, who just don't have any education in biological health. And they give advice that is not backed up by science. So no, I'm not a weight loss guru. What I am is a serious doctor who cares about helping my patients get stronger, more fit, and live longer. And I do this using cutting-edge therapies and proven science. Now, can eliminating deep fat make my patients look better? Yes, sometimes dramatically so, but that's not my primary goal. My goal is helping people live healthier and longer, not with more diet or exercise, but by fighting deep fat on the cellular level. And I'm going to tell you my cellular secret in this video, because it's a secret anybody can use, and you can do it right from your own home. Again, I want to make clear, this is not a weight loss video. There'll be no exercise tips or diet ideas. I'm not trying to sell you a set of DVDs you'll never watch or a book on time-consuming recipes you'll never read. I won't tell you 5 foods that burn fat or 1 special exercise to get slim. Again, in my medical opinion, that's all hogwash. There's only one way to attack dangerous deep fat on the cellular level. And when I discovered what that secret was, it changed everything. But the biggest surprise came when my partners and I discovered a way to activate this cellular switch without the need for doctors, surgeries, or injections. The secret turned out to be something anybody can do, and it takes less than 2 minutes a day. In my medical opinion, this one thing might be the most innovative method for eliminating body fat. As word of this video spreads, several of my colleagues have asked me, why are you on a mission to get this secret to the public? To me, the answer is simple. At this point in our careers, we've been very blessed with a great deal of success, and our clients include some very affluent folks, people who can afford expensive therapies. But our goal has always been to improve the health and longevity of all Americans, not just the very rich. Now, thanks to this shocking new discovery, the day is here. That's why I made this video, to spread news of this technique to everyone in America who has been frustrated by countless fad diets that don't work for them, and to the millions of people who just want to get healthy and live longer for themselves and for their loved ones. Deep fat, in my opinion, and that of other doctors and medical researchers, is one of the most deadly threats to the health of Americans. And given what I know about fighting it, I consider it my medical duty to share this knowledge with every single person I can. But to understand how the cellular secret works, I first need to shatter 3 myths about weight and health. Warning, this is going to be controversial. Some people who are furious that my partners and I, doctors who were never involved in the weight loss industry before, have jumped into the fray and shattered the false myths that people have been force-fed for years. Think about all the people who have a stranglehold on the diet industry, the TV health gurus, the book and magazine publishers, the exercise video producers, and most importantly, the so-called health food corporations. For the last 30 years, these so-called diet experts have had a monopoly on giving advice to Americans about weight and health. And what have they accomplished? In the last 30 years, the obesity rate has skyrocketed. A staggering 69% of American adults are now considered overweight. How is this possible? How can Americans be gaining so much weight when there are so many new gyms, so much health food, and so much diet advice in magazines and TV? Well, here's the unfortunate but truthful answer. Some of this diet advice hasn't just been bad, it's been horrible. And the result has been that Americans have gained weight, not lost it. This really chaps my rear end, especially when I think about the good people who have worked hard to lose fat and then blame themselves when a diet didn't work. People who just want to get healthy so they can live a long, happy life with the loved ones who rely on them. If you've ever gotten bad diet advice, you know how frustrating it can be. Sometimes it just makes you feel like giving up. Well, I'm here to tell you, if you're someone who has struggled with any of these diets, it was not your fault. And giving up on your health, giving up on being happy and confident, giving up on your loved ones, as a doctor, I will do everything in my power to never let that happen. That's why this video is so important. The incredible information you're about to hear is based on new, cutting-edge science, not old ideas that were disproven years ago. And this method works specifically because of how radically different it is than anything people have tried before. If you care about looking better, feeling healthier, and living longer, you need to keep watching. So let's not wait any longer. These are the 3 secret truths about weight. Secret truth number 1. It is virtually impossible to eliminate fat cells. I said it before, but it's so important I need to correct this myth once and for all. Most excess fat is stored in what are known as white fat cells. And most people have the exact same number of white fat cells their entire adult life, no matter what they do. This fat cell number is formed in childhood and adolescence and is determined by your genetics and how much you eat as a child. Anybody who tells you you can eliminate fat cells as an adult knows nothing about science. We know this is true thanks to a number of studies, most importantly, the incredible work conducted by Dr. Kirsten Spalding of the world-renowned Karolinska Institute in Sweden. Here, a team of international researchers hoping to better understand the obesity epidemic began carefully studying fat on the cellular level. What they discovered was a game changer in our understanding of fat. They analyzed the fat cells of 687 adults, teens, and children. Some of the people were lean, some were obese. What they learned is that while young people do experience increases in the amount of fat cells they have, in adulthood, the fat cell counts level off. They never change, even if you gain or lose weight. But here was the most amazing finding of the study. Spalding studied the fatty tissue of 20 people before and after they went through bariatric weight loss surgeries, such as a lap band or stomach stapling. These people had lost an average of over 120 pounds, but even so, they still had the same number of fat cells a year after the operation. How is that possible? Because researchers found the fat cells had decreased in size by about 1/3. In other words, even if you lose a massive amount of fat, it is only the size of your fat cells that changes, not the number. Why is this important? Because as these fat cells grow bigger and bigger, your health can be seriously endangered. Your only hope is to attack the size of these fat deposits at the cellular level. According to Dr. Lester Salins, an obesity researcher and emeritus professor at Mount Sinai School of Medicine in New York, this is a new way of looking at obesity. And Dr. Jeffrey S. Flyer, an obesity researcher and dean of Harvard Medical School, said this new research is so important it means there's a system waiting to be discovered. Now, get ready for another news flash about fat. Secret truth number 2, eating nutritious food instead of junk food makes almost no difference in whether you gain or lose weight. I know, it's hard to believe. All your life you've heard vegetables will help you lose weight and fast food will make you gain weight. Well, here's what has been and always will be the truth. Vegetables are much better for you than the fast food. They're packed with vitamins and nutrients your body needs. And fast food is packed mostly with sugar and salt, which can cause various problems when eaten in excess. But when it comes to the goal of simply losing fat, nutritional value is not the difference. Let me explain. The main method of losing fat through your diet is by reducing calories absorbed and stored in fat cells. If you can cut 200 calories a day from your diet, I can guarantee you will lose weight. It's simple physiology, and you won't have those extra calories to convert into fat. Now, 200 calories of celery are not exactly the same as 200 calories of a cheeseburger in terms of nutrition. And there is some difference in the way they are deposited in our cells. But calories are calories, and an excess causes them to be deposited as fat. To your body, the source of excess calories makes no difference. If that seems crazy, just think of this old riddle. What weighs more, 100 pounds of feathers or 100 pounds of rocks? Obviously, they both weigh the same, 100 pounds. You just need a lot more feathers to get to 100 pounds. Well, it works the same with calories. Just look at the pictures below and tell me, which plate contains more calories of food? The answer? They have the exact same amount of calories, exactly 200 calories each. But you can eat a lot more celery to get 200 calories than cheeseburgers. This amazing concept was proven in a now famous example called the Twinkie diet. You see, Mark Haub, a professor of nutrition at Kansas State University, was explaining this calories in, calories out fact to his students. But one student didn't believe him, so he decided to put his theory to the test. Mark stopped eating his normal healthy diet of lean meats, whole grains, and vegetables, and instead ate only Hostess and Little Debbie snacks, Doritos chips, sugary cereals, and Oreo cookies for 10 weeks. But He also lowered his total calorie count. Instead of eating 2,600 calories a day of healthy foods, he now ate 1,800 calories of junk food. The result? Mark lost 27 pounds in 10 weeks, eating nothing but junk. Some people were shocked by this outcome, but to doctors who understand how human cells work, this was not unexpected. Now, was Mark's diet a good idea? No, it wasn't. He lost weight, but if all you eat is cookies and cakes, you'll feel hungry all the time. Your body also needs better protein, nutrients, and minerals to prevent serious illness. And there's one thing sugar does that is horrible for your cells. And I'm going to tell you about it in a minute because it directly relates to a massive discovery I told you about earlier, the discovery that has changed forever the way I look at human health. But before I tell you about it, I need to shatter what is probably the biggest weight loss myth of all. Secret truth number 3. Exercise alone has almost no impact on weight loss. But wait, don't people who exercise have slimmer bodies? Yes, sometimes. But again, aside from the type of exercise, it still all comes down to calories and how and where they are absorbed. Let's start with the basics. 30 minutes of certain types of exercise can burn about 300 calories.
Okay. The reason I brought that up is so you guys would understand that, really the pitta layer is affected by the diet we eat, by the toxins we consume, and the fat stores those toxins as cellulite and it converts it into signals, which in turn affects our mood by creating pitta layer in the brain. So pitta is the secret to detox, and the way the body uses nutrition is 50% of what we eat, it is using to eliminate the bad things from the diet, or rather the nutrition. So because of that, half of what we eat, we are using to get rid of things. 35% of what we eat is what we nourish the body, and 15% is what we use for exercise to restore the body. So imagine 50% of the work is done by pitta part of the body. And it's all because of detox. And the best way to detox in ancient system, they said to go underwater and do meditation, which means steam sauna. If you do meditation or stay in it, you will detox your pitta layer much better than any other way in the body. So pitta is the secret to comprehension, perception, mood, bliss, maintaining a very healthy lifestyle. So I think if you guys understand this, you can ace life, meaning pitta layer is the secret to everything. It's a holder of energy. Now these are the gunas, what it is, how each one plays out and stuff. So I think these were again from your previous slide. So I'm going to briefly go over one of my patients who we do a biofeedback technique, and I was assessing, and I'm going to just discuss briefly, at another level, from a physician level, from Ayurvedic perspective, orthomolecular medicine. Oh, by the way, pitta layer is helped by enzymes. So the liver loves all the junk to be removed from large intestine. So if you eliminate every night by taking haritaki is a seed. I'm going to bring it up to see whether you guys can recognize it. It's like a powder people get called haritaki. And this is like this fruit. So usually in India, they use that powder. So it comes like this. So you powder it and it really restores, because the alkaline state is the best way to maintain. So every night if you take a teaspoon of this, you can actually restore your pitta layer to normalcy. So it's one thing I want to bring up. And so then I'm going to go into the brief. This is my son I evaluated. Okay, so his baseline, this is the energy layer, 9.53, 8 to 16 is a layer that deals with emotion. They went through a very stressful weekend, and obviously stress is converted into pitta, right? And so his 9.53 was the emotional layer, and this is Let me see if I can make it bigger. I think this one is spleen. You could see because of the stress, right? The spleen is the creator of energy in the body. Chi. It gives the chi. So it gets like a little bit stressed, you could see. And then adrenal is totally exhausted. His steroids is wiped out. Pineal gland, like, you know, remember the mood, the pitta layer is wiped out. So he has no ability to create the bliss in his brain. And then I'm going to show you where the liver is. So that's the liver. So it's like, you know, you could see like he's stressed. So most of his stress is in spleen. So when the spleen is inflamed, what it does is it helps them fall sick quicker. So he had runny nose, which means what? Like kappa, like, you know, the kappa, he went into that state where he's runny nose. Okay, he's in an inflammatory state. Mucus is secreting. So that's what he was today morning. He was very like exhausted. So when we did another testing, we found his L1, lumbar vertebra 1, which is wood element. Remember, wood element is earth, right? So earth and water is kapha layer. So kapha layer went off balance. So because of the emotion, which is the pitta layer, now pitta is actually supposed to be ascending. Because it's descending, the kapha is going out of whack. And the lumbar vertebra 1 is getting stressed, which is influenced by large intestine. So you could see the triple warmer, large intestine, lung meridians are affected. So my goal is to restore his pitta so that he digests better. So to give him more hydrochloric acid and ignite that stomach fire. So that's what I'm doing. I'm doing enzyme with bromelain, hydrochloric acid, so that I'll relight his pilot in his belly. And my goal is by doing that, naturally, his liver and his stomach itself can bring back the immunity, because once the liver is restored, it will bring in more vitamin D, because fat soluble vitamins is coming in. When the vitamin D comes in, it will reset the cellular wall, so it listens better. When it listens better, thyroid metabolism will boost up. When metabolism boosts up, his energy will go up and his spleen will be restored, his immunity will boost up. If in case the thyroid is not working well, his immunity will go into dormancy and he'll get more sickness. So I'm trying his body to naturally build itself up so that I can restore him to health. This is the end of my lecture. So I wanted to give you guys a way how I use Ayurveda, how I use nutrition, how I use mental health, how I use pitta understanding, water layer, all to come together so I'll have a good sense of how to approach my patient. And now I'm going to open this for questions, and anybody who can ask anything, I'm willing to answer. Let me know.
I have a question, Dr. Brown.
Uh-huh.
In the Swamiji, when he gave us a lecture and he said about 40 days to do something, what was he referring to?
So what it is he says, see, remember how we say 72% is body water, right?
Yes.
So he says mandala. Mandala means you create a sacred space, okay? Have you heard about mandala? Even Tibet, like Buddhists also does that.
No, I don't know anything about mandala.
Okay, mandala is like see, it's not the place, it's a space, right?
Okay.
Our life is not in this human body. We are holding a space in and around us. Inside there is a space, outside also we have space. We have total, I think, 9 layers to our body. Causal body. Have you heard about those things? Like there are like multiple layers. Causal body, etheric body. Huh?
I've heard it.
Okay. So the reason mandala is important is our DNA vibrates at 54. You know about that? Like our DNA vibration starts at 54. That's where the kapha layer takes off. And the vata layer goes up like to the higher hertz, like 84, 54 to 84, let's say. But after you reset it for 48 days, your body, by creating like, new way of living, like, the water molecules to be restructured so that your pitta layer harmonizes, you could reset your DNA. And by doing this mandala, like, so what we do, like, let's say there is a crisis, right? You want to create a space for yourself so that 48 days you don't make any new decision, you don't add anything new to your diet, you stay with what is going on with you and reset your mood, because the ultimate goal is to bring the bliss body back. There is a reason they say ultimate goal in India, or like, about Ayurveda, the life knowledge, or Veda, which is the science or Shastra, is to bring that bliss layer back. They said we vibrate so much bliss, if we touch our skin, we should use with this joyful sensation of this, like feeling like how you have butterfly in the belly. You have to have in every part of the skin. That's called bliss layer. And to get to that bliss layer, you need to reset every molecule in your body. And for that, it takes 48 days or more. Because at 54, your DNA then vibrates and it mutates and it restores itself. I'm going to bring up another video called it's called Human Microbiome Project. Because we are actually host for multiple bacteria. Do you know that? So we are not actually just one entity. We are, well, actually, I think this is not one. The Utah, they had a very nice video on this. Let me see. It will say Utah genetics, genome, microbiome project, genetics. Because by doing this, you can reset your DNA. Isn't that nice? Like, to get a lease on life.
You could do that.
Okay, Utah. Let me go back. And instead of saying human microbiome, Utah. They had a very nice video. So I'm going to tell you. Microbiome. Okay, I'm going to bring up that video so you'll understand, because the video explains it more than what I would. And this is what you can reset in 48 days.
The Earth has many ecosystems with unique resources and challenges, and your body does too. Just as you'd find different plants and animals in a rainforest than in a desert, each habitat on your body is home to a unique community of microbes. To thrive in a particular habitat, organisms must be able to take advantage of resources and cope with environmental challenges. They often have special adaptations that help them survive. Creatures in tidal pools have structures that anchor them to rocks, keeping them from being swept away. Similarly, microbes in your mouth use sticky molecules to attach themselves to your teeth. Near tidal pools, a different set of creatures lives on the soft sand of the ocean floor. In your mouth, a unique collection of microbes lives in softer areas too, including your gums, cheeks, and tongue. To support a living community, a habitat needs plenty of resources. In your mouth, both on teeth and on soft tissue, microbes have access to oxygen, water, and nutrients in the form of food particles, skin debris, and proteins secreted in saliva. Your large intestine provides a different set of resources. It is a warm, damp environment where nutrients are plentiful, and it's home to the body's densest and most diverse community of microbes. Like the species in Earth's ecosystems, members of your body's ecosystems depend on one another for survival. Lining the inside of the intestine is a layer of mucus. The microbes living here form a biofilm, where different types of microbes perform special jobs to keep the entire community healthy. Your body's ecosystems are diverse. Although it's a single organ, your skin has many different habitats. Each habitat has a unique combination of resources and challenges, and its own profile of microbes. Your forearm is a dry environment that gets lots of sunlight. Microbes that live here have adaptations to protect against light damage and to keep from drying out. Your underarms are damp with lots of sweat glands and hair follicles. Just like in the soil, where microbes are most dense around plant roots, microbes on your skin are dense around hair follicles, which contain the roots of your hair. Oily areas, like the skin on your back, tend to have fewer types of microbes. Oil is often antimicrobial, yet some microbes have adaptations that allow them to live here, and some even use the oil as food. Extreme environments on Earth have the fewest species, and those that can live there need special adaptations in order to survive. Your body has extreme environments too. In your stomach, microbes face the challenge of extreme acidity, yet those with the adaptations to survive have two big advantages: access to your food and very little competition. We still have a lot to learn about the ecosystems of the human body, but we do know proper balance is important for our health. Both in Earth's ecosystems and in our bodies, every species is important in keeping the ecosystem healthy.
So the reason I brought up that video is there is a new theory that people who get attracted to each other, who wants to have a relationship, it might not be driven by a person, but it could be the microbiome inside who is looking for that experience. So they are saying, essentially, we are being controlled by the things inside us. And that's why you feel pleasant to kiss a person versus get aversion to another person. So the microbiome inside determines how we mate, how we create relationship in the world, which is a very fascinating concept. So essentially, you are able to be the host for whatever that is growing inside. And we think we are controlling our body, but actually it could be the other way around. That's why it's very important in India, they say, to understand the consequence of our behavior and alter the way we live. Otherwise, we are being controlled by things inside us, and we are essentially becoming like how they have this, the vehicles that transformers. Essentially, we are transforming for the little creature inside who wants to operate us. The other thing I wanted to bring up is, remember the foot, there is a theory called as above, so below. Remember he said pitta layer is on top.
Yes.
Interestingly, when your foot has cracks and more dry skin, your pitta layer is not in balance. So by understanding your health of your feet, you can reset your pitta layer, which was amazing. I never even connected the crack of my feet to pitta layer.
So to balance our pitta of our feet, so what would we have to do? Best is to sort of eat a different diet?
No, remember, pitta is a layer.
A layer.
Pitta is like a space inside us. So we have three spaces, right?
Yes.
Pitta is the fire element, and water element is not in balance. Remember, there is only 5 elements you need to worry, right?
Yes.
The air and space is water layer.
Yes.
Pitta layer is fire and water.
And water.
Kapha layer is water and earth. Right?
Yes.
So if pitta layer is not in balance, what happens is digestion is off. So if you keep eating more, you're going to burden the system, right? That's why the deep fat solution is very important to understand, because you will never increase the fat, but you're going to make the fat cell grow bigger and bigger. And when the fat cell grows bigger, it holds cellulite, which is toxic fat, which is sending a signal of steroids, which causes frustration, mood swings, and not able to be happy. And that creates the burden of depression, headaches, and that is reflected as cracked feet and stuff, which
so
means you are not having enough good oils in the body. That's the way to think. Remember, pitta loves oils. So you need to, to balance pitta, you need to take good fats and you need to drop the sugar and you need to rekindle the fire. So warm food, little bit more liquid food, little bit more oily food. Pitta is about oil, warmth, and like, you know, like the thing that will make the bile flow. So usually astringent, right? Like bitter stuff and all help the pitta flow. Does it make sense?
Yes, it makes sense. Thank you.
Yeah. And how would you restore it is, the thing is, like, you know, in India, they call it Abhyanga massage. Have you heard about that?
No.
Okay, I'm going to bring that up too. Because if you understand it, because there are so many secrets we have and we are not even using it. So Abhya means self, Anga means flow, okay? Self flow massage, or Anga is also like lymphatics, okay? So you do this yourself. So whenever pitta goes out of balance, you will do.
How many letters are in the alphabet?
It's very easy to do. You do it at home. You would do Nasya oil to open the nares.
Shivo Abhyangam is a method of application of the medicated oil on the scalp, followed by massage in specific directions. This will be generally improving the circulation on the scalp, and it is good for the brain and nervous system as a whole.
Sirobhyangam. Application of oil to the scalp.
So I'm going to pause it here. The reason, remember, in the past, they didn't understand that lymphatics was in the brain.
Yes.
So actually massage the head, what you're doing is the lymphatics is moving and the pitta is coming down. So you need to understand this is just to address the pitta layer in the brain. We are doing this. And there are 3 steps. The Nasya oil goes into the nares here, because it actually, these are called marma point. It opens up all the 5 elements in the face. So when you do the Nasya oil, usually they suggest using some sort of aromatic oil to open up all 5 elements, and they usually use different oils. The one I use particularly is turmeric oil. Turmeric, you can do fresh turmeric, you can grind it and put it a little bit with warm sesame oil and then do it there. And then behind the ear, you will use neem oil. And then in the belly button, you will use castor oil. That's what is the 3 places you want to focus. Then you will do the whole massage.
Followed by a massage in specific direction.
But they are not doing it the way I suggest, but that's the way you would do it.
Sirobhyangam. The guest is allowed to sit in a comfortable position. The oil should be slightly warm.
This, because in India they have luxury. I'm going to bring up another one that is self-massage, because I think this is too fancy because we don't have.
Yeah, we can't do that. We don't have that luxury here.
I know. I think self-massage. I think because Abhyanga massage is personal. You don't need to have a practitioner do it for you.
Hello, my name is Karina Maharani, and I'm here at Kanyakumari, the Ayurvedic Yoga Center in the Midwest. And I'm very excited to be talking to you today about the Abhyanga, the Ayurvedic hot oil massage. I will instruct you in a few minutes on how to do such an oil massage for yourself. The Abhyanga is a wonderful soothing self-treatment that is particularly beneficial to balance Vata dosha. It has many, many benefits. Some include that it is very tonifying and nurturing to the skin tissue. It is also very soothing and calming to the nervous system. And with that, it has a calming.
So I'm going to pause here. The reason she says Vata, remember when Pitta goes out of balance,
Yes.
it affects cognition. Cognition is what? Vata, because alertness is gone, right? So essentially it goes like further and it affects the second layer. So even though it says it restores Vata, but actually what you're trying to bring into balance is Pitta first. You understand?
Yes.
sleep enhancing, and overall very relaxing quality. It is enhancing your inner pharmacy as your immune system will be activated and your cells will be revitalized to this very simple treatment. It tones and nourishes your internal organs and helps you to release toxins and flushes them out of your digestive system.
Now, what oil could we use?
Usually in India, we use sesame seed oil.
Yeah, because you can buy organic sesame seed oil here.
Yeah, you can buy it in any Indian store. I found it very cheap, like $4 or $5.
Yes.
So what you do is you buy organic sesame seed oil.
Yeah.
And in Vietnam or Chinese store, I found fresh turmeric. So you'll grind the turmeric, the fresh herb.
Yes.
Add it to the sesame oil, or you can also get turmeric oil directly. It's what is it called? The essential oil from Canada. I buy turmeric oil straight. You will cut 20% turmeric oil with 80% sesame oil, and you can add any other herbs if you want. We do henna, like, in India, they'll do all sorts of herbs, like, aromatic herbs. And then you can also add a little bit castor oil if you like, because castor oil breaks down the biofilms. So if you think there is Lyme issue, you can add castor oil and a little bit neem oil.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'd like to tell you a little bit about the different supplies.
I'm going to fast forward so that she can show.
Yes.
I would love for you to take a little bit of the sesame oil, which is now nice and warm. And she's going to squeeze it into her palm and just take a nice amount like that, like a teaspoonful maybe, and just mix it into your hand. Now I'm going to have you massage your scalp. You're going to take the oil and you spread it all across your scalp. And make sure that you use your full hand, massaging the oil in.
In India, we put coconut oil in our hair.
You can. It doesn't matter which oil you use. It has to be lukewarm.
Okay.
Because I think it all depends on, your convenience, your preference.
Okay.
Each one has like a specific property.
I don't know.
The reason I like sesame is you can also do oil pulling on the mouth, so you can use it for 2 different purposes. But let's say you do coconut oil, you can use it for cooking. So it all depends on you don't want to have one oil which will go rancid quick,
Yes.
You just want to use something that will give you 2 or 3 purposes.
Yes.
And then you will use everywhere. So the oil massage has to be all over the body.
Yes.
And you don't use soap afterwards.
And how do you wash it? With basin? How do you wash yourself out?
What did he say?
How do we have a shower? How do you wash this oil out?
No, you wash it with warm water, but you don't use soap, because you want the oil to stay in your body at least for 2 hours, and you can go to sleep with it. So you actually can leave it on if you want, or if you want to wash it off, just wash it off with the water, but the body still keep absorbing the oil, because the oil seeps through.
All right.
Because by constant washing with soap, the skin gets so dry, and that's why it doesn't nourish itself. So when you leave the oil, it actually allows it to regenerate itself.
Oh, because in India, they wash it with chickpea flour.
Yeah, you can do chickpea. They call it shikai. They have another one. They have like a herb with henna. You get it, there are other stuff. But because in India, they do almost like weekly oil massage, but hardly we come across oil in our body, especially with the cold climate. And so when pitta layer is out of balance, you want it to be a little bit more oily. So that's when you would do oil massage, and you don't wash with soap or water or powder, and just do lukewarm, not lukewarm, regular shower, which washes off the dirt and grime, but leave the oils in place.
All right. Thank you.
This one is a very nice video. This is a doctor from London who did this video. She does very good explanation.
Welcome to Ayurveda Pure. I'm Dr. Deepa Apte, one of the founders and directors of Ayurveda Pure. In this video, I will be talking about self-massage techniques based on Ayurvedic principles. Ayurveda does. In Ayurveda, we do stress a lot upon anti-aging. And one of the best ways to anti-age, of course, is self-massage techniques. And we have with us over here a lovely Colette, who is also an Ayurvedic practitioner, who will be demonstrating the various self-massage techniques which you can follow at home. And of course, now when we talk about anti-aging, in Ayurveda, we believe that it is not just about looking young from the outside, but also feeling young and feeling healthier from the inside. And when we talk about anti-age, if we were to ask, so when do these anti-aging approaches begin? Is it at 30, 40, or 50 years old? In Ayurveda, we look at it otherwise. We believe that the moment a baby is born, the whole aging process begins. Therefore, all the anti-aging approaches start at the moment of birth or life. And the best way to anti-age, of course, is massages. And why massages? We believe that when we apply warm oil to the skin and massage, it helps to open up the pores, and through that, the body releases all the toxins. And when this is done on a regular basis every day, it also helps to strengthen the immune system, also helps to strengthen and nourish the bones, the muscles, the digestive system. But most importantly, self-massage techniques at home will also help to promote healthy sleep. And in Ayurveda, we believe that it is only when we sleep, the body heals. And through that, the body then also...
Okay, sleep is connected with pitta layer. Remember that.
Yes.
also helps to get rid of any illnesses, diseases, or toxins. When talking about self-massage techniques, in Ayurveda, we believe that everything is more tailor-made to an individual's body type or constitution. That means when someone is of a Vata body type, the time of the day when self-massage would be done would definitely be different from one that is Pitta or a Kapha body type. As we know, Vata is air, and air moves. That means such people are quite restless and may not be able to sleep well at night. Therefore, the best time for such people of Vata body types to do their self-massage would be in the evening before going to sleep. Therefore, the technique followed would be self-massage with warm oil, followed by a warm or hot shower, and then sleep. But on the other hand, Pitta and Kapha body types are already such that they are quite focused or active, but of course at the same time generally more calmer and quieter. And therefore for them, the best time during the day to do the massage would be in the morning. So the routine followed would be when they wake up in the morning, perhaps after having their breakfast or brushing their teeth or anything like that, to follow the self-massage first, then followed by a hot or warm shower. Along with the time of the day, what is also essential in terms of the three different body types is the kind of oil to be used. So for someone who is a Vata body type, the best oil to be used would be a Vata reducing oil. Usually all Ayurvedic oils are sesame seed based oils, but then such an oil would have herbs like the castor oil or maybe asparagus, which helps to reduce Vata in the body. So for a Vata personality, self-massage in the evening with a Vata reducing oil. And now next for the Pitta body type, the best oil to be used would be the Pitta reducing oil. As we already know, Pitta is fire. That means the aim is to reduce heat, and therefore this oil is more cooling and refreshing with herbs like aloe vera or asparagus. And of course, if it is a Kapha body type, then the best oil to be used is a Kapha reducing oil in the morning. And as we know, Kapha is water and earth. So they need something that is more stimulating or energizing. And of course, the Kapha oil then contains herbs like the turmeric, or it also contains aloe vera that helps to get rid of that heaviness and to give more of an energizing quality. So generally, these are the three oils that I use. But of course, if you can't find such oils, then the best oil to be used is the sesame seed oil, which generally has to be cold pressed. This particular oil is good for all the three body types and of course can be used anytime during the day. And now coming to the self-massage techniques.
Our lovely Colette over here is going to demonstrate and show us how you can do these techniques at home. In an Ayurvedic self-massage technique, we usually start off with the arms, and then of course the legs, and then comes the abdomen, and then lastly the face.
Okay.
So when you have to start off with the massage,
this
remember
is
that
from
you have
Ayurveda,
to
pure London, but she like, you know, each one has a specific technique. But I personally, like, you know, the Abhyanga massage, I start with the Nasia oil because you want to open up your nares first, because this is very important, because once your brain directly gets stimulated, you directly will reduce the pitta layer and your stress will be immensely low and you will be able to enjoy the session better. And then you'll be able to follow through easier. So, but anything works, you know, it is not like a really difficult thing to be easy to understand.
Oh, wow.
Was it useful? Did you guys have difficulty following me?
It's been very useful. Thank you. But could you use sesame seed oil in your nails?
No, see, remember the point I'm using is like the intersection.
Yes.
Nares and this. So
Yeah.
these are all called nasia. It's a murmur point. The reason is this resets all 5 elements in the body. And by resetting all 5 elements, what happens is you're starting to harmonize quicker. So the first point is nasia. The second point is behind the ears, because that's another murmur point. That's where you'll use neem oil. Neem oil is antimicrobial. So you want to, like, let's say you have like issues with teeth, cavities, or fillings and stuff. So you want to reset that. Because what happens is when you open lymphatics, you're making the bacteria move back and forth, right? So you want to kill those. So that's why I like the turmeric oil, which take away all the heavy metal toxins, and then the neem oil, which is antimicrobial. And neem oil is very easy to get, believe it or not. I thought it was so hard. If you go to any hydroponic store, they're using neem oil to kill all the bugs in the leaves. I'm stunned. It was like $2 for neem oil. So they know the secret, and we are the one who's not even using it for our body. Neem oil is like very, very cheap. Turmeric oil, fresh turmeric is in every Chinese, Vietnamese store, except for Indian store. Indian should carry it, but Indians have the dry turmeric. I like the fresh turmeric. I saw a packet for like $1.50 in Vietnamese store. And then sesame oil is in Indian store. So I combine all 3 and I make my own oils. And it's very easy to do. Like I said, you know, under $10, you can make very good oils.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Was this lecture like a lot of stuff that you felt I went over your head, or was it easy to understand?
I learned a lot from it.
Okay.
I learned a great deal too.
Thank you.
Yes. I'm going to go back and listen to the video again, because I know that there were a lot of things that I didn't write down.
That's all right. Thanks. I appreciate you guys paying attention.
It was wonderful. Thank you so much. I learned so much.
I appreciate it. But keep in touch with me. I have a Facebook page.
Oh, great.
Could you send us your Facebook page address so we can, in case we want to get in touch with you?
Okay, it's actually facebook.com/yourmd. So let me.
If you give it to Renee, she'll send it to us.
I will post it in the last slide.
Yeah.
So that way, text, I'll put it in. And I'm going to make it really big.
Mommy. Yeah.
Facebook.com/yourmd. Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
You're welcome. It was a pleasure meeting you all. Thank you. All the best.
So you live in Rhode Island?
I live in Massachusetts, very close to Rhode Island. I live in Holliston. I go every Wednesday to Rafa Yoga because that's where in the steam I do my pitta layer reset. Because if you have a good pitta layer, see, like your skin will be good, your oils will be reset, your mood is good, you will have a good bliss layer. You feel so happy all the time. People who are happy is got a good pitta layer.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Good night.